Hello and welcome to Supporting Truth. In this video, I want to talk about the possibility of Donald Trump being the Antichrist beast of Revelation. I've made several videos in the past talking about this issue, and I think I've explained pretty clearly why Donald Trump does not fit the biblical description. And I've also talked about some of the discussions I've had with Brother Paul. He's the guy who runs the channel for Antichrist. Was formerly known as Antichrist 45. Is now currently known as the Real Brother Paul. But whenever I make the point to him that Donald Trump is not conquering countries, he doesn't have control of multiple countries. He doesn't have control of any country, as far as that goes. There could even be a case made that he doesn't have control of the United States yet. Project 2025 is only 55% complete at this point. And there is not, even though he took out the leader of Venezuela, he took out the leader of Israel, of Iran, he doesn't have control of either one of those countries. Not even Venezuela. Even, there's not a military occupying force in Venezuela. And if he tried to do that, the people would probably rise up and we'd be in a ground war in that country. Eventually we would win probably, but it wouldn't make sense for Trump to even attempt it. But for Trump in his current state, his current age, his physical condition, and where we are militarily, it is, folks, listen, it's laughable. It is absolutely laughable at this point to think that Donald Trump has the ability to conquer the entire world. We know from the book of Revelation that it plainly says that the beast has power and authority over every nation, tongue, and tribe. Every one of them. And he goes to war with the saints and prevails. So none of that's happened. There's no false prophet in sight anywhere. And like I said, Donald Trump does not have the power and authority to conquer the entire world. And I pointed this out to Brother Paul, and he says, well, at some point he's going to have supernatural power. So I'm assuming he's going to be somehow possessed with this spirit. Maybe he's talking, I don't know what spirit he's going to be, supposedly Brother Paul thinks he's going to be possessed with at some point. But, Donald Trump's been around for over a decade now in politics, but yet he still does not have supernatural power. And his base is shrinking all the time. So, and his popularity is worse everywhere in the United States and around the world. People are seeing him for what he is. So in order for him to suddenly become the beast of Revelation, he would definitely have to have supernatural power. But that has, what does that look like? What's the holdup? What's keeping him from supposedly receiving this supernatural power that's suddenly going to make him and this military so powerful that they could control the entire world? I'm telling you, folks, that doesn't make sense, and I don't see that as being biblical. There's no prophecy in the book of Revelation that states that the Antichrist beast, the one who has a deadly wound by a sword, by the way, which, if you look at the Greek definition or the Greek definition of the word, the Greek word for our word sword, you see that it can mean dagger or knife or judicial punishment, which would have to be capital punishment in order for it to be a deadly wound that's healed. So either way, it's a physical wound that's healed, and it's deadly. Donald Trump has not received that. Not by a sword, not by capital punishment, not by a knife, and not by a dagger. That has not happened, folks, and that is one of the main criteria for identifying this beast of Revelation, and that the number of his name calculates to 666, not 45. So, there is just nothing about Donald Trump other than the way he talks and his attitude and just the chaos that he's spreading. Of course, all that can be attributed to the fact that he's of the devil. If anything, that Donald Trump is possessed by the devil just like Judas Iscariot was. And he's being used of Satan. But just because somebody's possessed by a demon or by the devil doesn't mean that they're going to suddenly be able to wave a magic wand and just make the entire world do what they want them to do. That's not the way it works. Like I said, it's just not biblical. It's not biblical for a man to be around for years and years and years and then suddenly receive supernatural power. And that's how he's suddenly able to take over the whole world. That's not in the book of Revelation. Of course, there's a lot of details left out of the book of Revelation. But like I said, Donald Trump does not fit the biblical description. The descriptions of the beast have been given to us right there in the book of Revelation. But Brother Paul rejects them. He flat out rejects the fact that the beast is given a wound, a deadly wound by a sword, dagger, knife, or judicial punishment, which would, like I said, would have to be capital punishment in order for it to be a deadly wound. To qualify as a deadly wound, it would have to be capital punishment. He has not received that. So, it's awful convenient for Brother Paul to say, oh, well, he doesn't have supernatural power now, but he's going to get it. And it'd be awful convenient for Brother Paul to just ignore the criteria in the book of Revelation about the number of his name and claim it's some other number conjured up by a consecutive number of presidents, or that, someday he's going to have a wound by a knife or dagger or whatever, or to try to make out like that wound on his ear was actually the deadly wound, or to make out like, that whenever he was impeached, he survived that, but yet that wasn't a deadly wound. He's just adding to and taking away from the book of Revelation right and left, and he will not be corrected. I've tried numerous times to correct him. He will not be corrected. Even Brother James Key, after all these years, ever since 2015, Brother James Key has been talking about Donald Trump being the Antichrist beast. But you know what his last video was about? The last one, or the second to the last, I think now. He said that he's open-minded. He has an open mind to someone else being the beast of Revelation. He sees that now Donald Trump is not really lining up with the characteristics of the beast of Revelation. So, folks, where does that leave us? That leaves us in one spot. The beast is not here yet. And we have to wait. We have to wait until all the prophecies that have been predicted start to unfold, that they clearly are unfolding, and then we'll probably have a good idea of when that's going to be. And right now, none of us know. It could be next year. It's doubtful that it's going to be this year. I thought it might be in 2025 based upon a date that I saw in Ezekiel. I never said that that's when it was going to happen. I just said it was a date we need to look at as a possibility, because I know Satan loves to counterfeit the things of God. But you know what? It could be all the way till 2035. And then Satan could counterfeit that date on June 6th or June 5th of 2035 or 2036. I don't know. But right now, there's no date for him to counterfeit for the next few years. And that may not be something he's going to do. I was just looking at that as a possibility. But like I said, he may still do it, but we'll have to wait till at least the sixth year of the 2030s. And that would be 2035. Or in 2036. But 2036 would be the seventh year of the 2030s. So anyway, that's just a possibility that I was looking at before. But right now, the stronger chance of things happening are Donald Trump passing away of natural causes. He's probably going to pull out eventually from Iran. That's going to leave Israel fighting the war alone. And they don't have any choice, because they know if they pull out, Iran's going to come after them, and probably going to have the help of Russia. And that's when the Gog and Magog war could begin. And United States won't. If Donald Trump's still president, he won't do anything to get between that. I guarantee you. He's all about saving himself, and he will have at least learned his lesson by then that he doesn't have the power to go to war with Iran and Russia. He can't even conquer Iran, much less both of those countries. So he would stay out. The United States would stay out, and we may be in a civil war by then, or who knows, if we are Babylon, Mystery Babylon, then we may be taken out before then. Well, anyway, I just wanted to bring up some of these issues again and help people to understand that I've been right along, okay? I take no joy in being right about things that people are not seeing. But, this channel is not getting any likes, so please, like the video. That's all you got to do. I'm just asking you to do something simple. I don't understand why you watch the videos, but you don't hit the like button. I mean, don't you think that what I'm saying has value, that other people need to hear it? And the only way people are going to see these videos and hear the information in it and be corrected by it and blessed by it and prepared for these last days and not be deceived is by helping the channel by liking the videos and sharing these videos. That's all I'm asking you to do. And as always, finish strong in the Lord.